25 soap spoilers. Coronation Street glass attack, Emmerdale pregnancy, EastEnders death danger, Hollyoaks seduction. Several characters are making potentially costly mistakes in upcoming soap scenes as Linda Carter crosses Aidan Maguire in EastEnders, Laurel Thomas and Bob Hope take a risk too far in Emmerdale, Bethany Platt violently lashes out in Coronation Street, and Jack Osborne gets far too close to dastardly Darcy Wilde in Hollyoaks. And that's just the tip of the iceberg when it comes to the big drama ahead. There is big baby news in the Dales that threatens to divide a couple. Milo and Twistle's secrets from the past return to haunt him in Hollyoaks. Hunter Owen takes revenge on his own mum. Ellen Walford and Rana Natsir and Kate Connor make a final decision about their relationship over in Weatherfield. Chuck in a car accident, a new feud, a sex mishap, a temper loss, a missing teen, a sentencing, a passionate encounter, a betrayal, a threat, a revelation, a painful decision, some worrying news and a return. And we have a guide packed full of storylines and spoilers. 1. As Billy continues to struggle with his drug abuse, he makes the decision to hand the devastated Summer back to Geraldine. Afterwards, Billy meets up with Lee again in order to score another hit. As for Summer, Felon reaches out to her and Aileen puts her foot down with Geraldine, telling her that Summer is going nowhere. 2. When Chesney is looking after Hope and Ruby, Gemma helps out and Tyrone is amazed with the bond she strikes up with the kids. Later, they share a moment but they are interrupted when Fizz finally arrives home. 3. Bethany heads back to lap dancing, but the new manager wants her to wear a skimpy bikini. After a row, Bethany ends up dancing for a rowdy stag do, and when they get hands-on, she panics and lashes out at the groom with a glass bottle. 4. With Zeeling still struggling to cope with the breakdown of his marriage, he tells Leanne that he is still in love with Rana. He takes advantage of Leanne's kindness and tries to kiss her, leading to her storming off. 5. Craig continues to battle with his aunt and his behavior raises eyebrows with Maria when Leon starts to mimic his actions at school. Later, Craig moves in with Kate and Alia, and Kate is curious to witness him fiddling with the switches and appliances. 6. As Liz and Eileen have an idea to host a getting-to-know Pat party after making amends, Felon himself is distracted when Mona from the mill site arrives with some unsettling news which leaves him very troubled indeed. 7. Rana finally opens up to Kate about the fact that her marriage is a sham, and after a heart-to-heart, they confess their love for each other and decide to try for a future together. But how will Zedon react when he finds them together? 8. It is the day of the reopening of the club, and Hunter is doing all that he can to support Mel. However, when he grows tired of Jack hanging around, he hits back and sabotages the sign, leaving Mel aghast. 9. The Carters are thrown into more turmoil when Aidan makes sinister threats against them. Tired of being bullied by him, Linda stands up to the crook, but when the family take action in retaliation, Aidan warns of disastrous repercussions. 10. As Martin enjoys having the kids for the day, he meets up with Haley, who soon leaves him as Ray. Martin is late back with the kids, leaving Stacy to take drastic action. But has Haley deliberately engineered all of this? 11. Billy is at his lowest ebb and he begs Mel for a job as a doorman at the new club. She eventually relents and sets Billy a challenge, and afterwards, she has an offer for him, but will it be enough to help him back on his feet? 12. Aidan approaches Keanu and hands him a package, which he instructs him to hide at the funeral parlor. As Keanu does some walk to help Jay, he makes his move, but will Jay catch him in the act? And what does the package contain? 13. Kim gets a letter containing the DNA results, and when she plans for both eventualities, Denise gets the wrong end of the stick and is left upset. When they then talk, Denise decides they don't need to open the results, but can Kim resist? 14. Patty is shocked when he discovers Chuz is pregnant, and after a long talk, they reach the decision to have a termination. However, Chuz later discovers that this isn't what Patty wants, but she tells him that this won't change her mind on the matter. 15. When smoke from the scrapyard puts one of Joe's clients off, he is sealing with Robert and the pair go head-to-head. Using Jimmy, Joe determines to find dirt to use on Robert, but will he bite off more than he can chew this time? 16. Bob and Laurel find the sexual tension too much when Bob tries to help her fix Ashley's window, but later, when Laurel is hit by Jimmy's car, Bob panics and thinks that she has been killed. Will this reawaken his feelings and force him to make a decision? 17. After a stressful time at work and a feeling of loneliness after a misunderstanding with Pete, Priya is on edge. And Rishi is shocked to witness her shouting at Emma and Eliza and smashing a plate of food against the wall. Later, Jai is worried to find bruises on Eliza. 18. Victoria and Robert continue to struggle with Rebecca's care, and when she is left on her own, disaster almost strikes, making Victoria realize that she needs someone with her at all times. But can she find a solution? 19. Kane and Moira are eager to make the most of having the farm to themselves and start to get busy on the city, but things get awkward when Faith brings Eric home and they walk in on them in the act. 20. Bob explains to Laurel that he thought he had lost her, and as they start passionately kissing, Brenda heads over and walks in. Bob and Laurel are unaware of her entering the cottage as they continue their passionate clinch while Brenda finally discover the truth. 21. Mandy and Darren are trying to be careful as they continue their affair, and when Mandy hears that the bean has been broken into, they hatch a plan to continue their secret liaisons in there. But with Luke wanting to commit to family life, how long can Mandy keep this going? 22. Leela is desperate to find a missing Perry, and Lewis offers a sum of money to use as a reward, only for Simone to put a stop to that idea. Later, Leela hopes that a social media video will lure Perry home, but is it too late? 23. Marnie tries to keep her mind off her impending sentencing and impresses Buster with her football knowledge, but she is thrown into a panic when Ellie tells her that her hearing has been brought forward and she is going to be late. Will she be heading to prison? 24. When Finn arrives to try and invest in the restaurant, he presents Tony with a newspaper cutting from the days of Illinois Nosh. However, Milo is panicked to see that the article incriminates him and he fears his involvement in the Cunningham crash will come to light. 25. Keen to snare Jack, Darcy pretends to be a fan of fishing and he offers to take her out on a trip. Later, when Jack is passed out drunk, Darcy climbs into bed with him, and as he wakes up, she tells him that he declared his love,